Hello viewers, welcome to the Tech Architect. My name is Imran Ashraf and you are watching Azure Fundamental video series. Today's topic is Azure networking options, and in this video we will learn how virtual networking helps you isolate network and compute resources, learn how Azure Load Balancer helps improve resiliency or the ability to recover when your service goes down, and learn how Traffic Manager can route traffic to different endpoints, including endpoint with the lowest latency to the user. So, uh, Azure networking using an n-tier architecture. The n-tier architecture divides an application into two or more logical tiers. Using a tiered architecture also simplified maintenance can be updated or replaced independently. The tier architecture refers to an n-tier application that has three tiers. The web tier provides the web interface to the users through the browser, and the application tier runs the business logic. The data tier includes the database and the other storage that hold product information and customer orders. The next thing is the e-commerce site running on Azure. Azure provides many different ways to host your web applications, from fully predefined, pre-configured environments that host your code, virtual machines that you configure, customize, and manage. If we see the e-commerce site on a virtual machine, the following illustration shows a three-tier architecture running a virtual machines with the secure security features enabled to restrict the inbound requests. Here is the NSG network security group. We will look into this in next slides. This is basically a security feature. The firewall, the port 80 and 22 is opened in all three tiers, and rest of the ports are the blocked. And this user is entering here from the port 80, which is HTTP, and port 22 is for the terminal. And you can see all the architecture, subnet 1, subnet 2, and subnet 3. And these both are the local, and this is the local and the public IP. Basically, this is the web tier, and the end user will interact with this tier, and that's why it has a public and a local IP. The next thing is the further we will dig out in the Azure networking option, and we see what is an Azure region. Azure data centers within a specific geographic locations. And what is a virtual network? A virtual network is a logical isolated network on Azure, and if you are familiar to the with the hypervisor, you must be familiar with the virtual LAN, virtual network. It allows the Azure resources to securely communicate with each other, the internet, and the on-prem networks. A virtual network is scoped to a single region. Multiple virtual networks from different regions can be connected together using virtual network peering. It can be segmented into one or more subnets, and here we see the what is network security group. In our last slide we see the NSG. It allows or denies the inbound in network traffic to your Azure resources as a cloud level firewall for your network. Web tier allows the inbound traffic, port 22 SSH and port 80 HTTP, as you have seen here. These ports are so It allows NSG allows the both ports. So what are the availability and high availability? It refers to how long your service is up and running without interruption. High availability refers to a service that's up running for a long period of time. 5 nines availability 99.999% of the time. What is the resiliency? It refers to the system's ability to stay operational during abnormal conditions like natural disasters, system maintenance, planned and unplanned, including software updates and security patches, spikes in traffic to your site, threats made by malicious parties such as distributed denial of service or DDoS attacks. What is a load balancer? It distributes traffic evenly among each system in a pool and helps you to achieve both high availability and resiliency. What is Azure Load Balancer? It supports inbound and outbound scenarios, provides low latency and high throughput scale up to millions of flows for all transmission control protocols and user datagram protocol applications used for incoming internet traffic, internal traffic across Azure services, port forwarding for specific traffic, or outbound connectivity for VMs in your virtual network. If we see the and Azure further in Azure if you see in the diagram, what is scale with the Azure Load Balancer. Azure Load Balancer is a load balancer service that helps take care of the maintenance for you. Load Balancer supports inbound and outbound scenarios, provides low latency, high throughput, and user datagram protocol UDP. You can use load balancer with incoming internet internal traffic across your services, port forwarding for specific traffic, or outbound connectivity for VM in your virtual network. You use Azure Load Balancer, there is no infrastructure or software for you to maintain. You define the forwarding rules based on the source IP and port to set of destination IP ports. The following illustration shows the role of the Azure Load Balancer in a multi-tier architecture. The next thing is Azure Application Gateway. Application Gateway is load balancer designed for web applications. If all your traffic is HTTP, a potentially better option is to use Application Gateway, Azure Application Gateway. This type of routing is known as Application Layer OSI Layer 7 load balancing. So, what are the benefits of the Azure Application Gateway? Cookie affinity, useful when you want to keep a user session on same backend server. SSL termination, can manage your SSL certificate and pass unencrypted traffic and backend servers to avoid encryption decryption overhead. Web application firewall supports a sophisticated firewall with detailed monitoring and logging to detect the malicious attacks against your network infrastructure. URL rule based routes allow you to route traffic based on URL pattern, source IP address, and port to destination IP address and port. This is helpful when setting up an content delivery network. Rewrite the HTTP headers, can add or remove information from inbound and outbound HTTP headers of each request to enable important security scenarios or scrub sensitive information such as server names. What is content delivery network? It is a distributed network of servers that can efficiently deliver web content to users. It is a way to get content to user to their local region to minimize the latency. The next thing is, what about DNS? Yes, a way to map user friendly names to their IP addresses. You can use your own DNS server or use Azure DNS. Reduce the latency with Azure Traffic Manager. What is network latency? Latency is refers to the time it takes for data to travel over the network. Latency is typically measured in milliseconds, and scale out different regions. Scale out to different regions to reduce the latency is to provide exact copies of your service in more than one regions. Use Traffic Manager to route users to closest endpoint. Traffic Manager uses the DNS server that's closest to user to direct user traffic to a globally distributed endpoint. Compare Load Balancer to uh, Traffic Manager. Both help make your service more resilient. So, this was all about the topic your networking options. So, for till the next topic, next video, thank you very much for watching the video.